The mean temperature in New York City over the last month was 81 degrees Fahrenheit with a standard deviation of 7. Assume that the distribution of New York City temperatures is unimodal and symmetric. Using the don't worry too much about those words. Using the empirical rule, fill out the following. About 68% of last month, the temperatures was between the 95%. For almost all days, 99.7%. In last month, temperature was. All right, so what are they asking us to do? Well, it's the bell curve thing. So in other words, if we go to this, they're saying the mean was 81. So we go to the notes. Here's the bell curve from the notes. And they're telling us, notice what it says up here in the notes. The middle is the mean. And that's probably no big surprise to you. I think you know that. So they're saying, what was the mean? They're saying the average temperature was 81 degrees. So if I go, okay, 81's right there in the middle. And it says standard deviation of 7. Standard deviation of 7, which means that's the jump from line to line. See right up here it says the line-to-line jumps are by the standard deviation. That means if it's 7, that means this goes up 7 from line to line. So this would be 88, and then go up 7 again. This would be whatever that is, 95, right? Go up 7 again. This would be 102 right there. And same thing the other way. Just go down 7. That would be, what's that? 74. Go down 7, 67. Go down 7, that's going to be 60 degrees. Yeah, so see how I'm doing that? I just started with the middle, which is 81. They told me right on this question that the mean was 81. So I put that in the middle. And they told me the standard deviation was 7. That means the jump from line to line is 7. So I put 81 in the middle, and I just add 7, add 7, add 7, subtract 7, subtract 7, subtract 7. So I get all those different lines. Now I'm ready to do the percentages. 68% of last month, the temperature was between what and what? 68%? Well, the 68%, see it goes from here to here, right there to right there. So 74 to 88, huh? 68% of the month, the temperature in New York City must have been between 74 and 88, assuming that, the temperatures in New York City were normally distributed, which they normally are. That's why they call it normal distribution. 74 to 88. So we'd say, okay, temperature, 68% of last month, the temperature was between 74 and 88 degrees. Okay, next, about 95% of last month. Where's the 95? Well, 95% is right here. It goes over to there and there, between 67 and 95. So 95% of the month, mornings, days, evenings, it was between, the temperature in New York City was between 67 and 95 degrees. That's most of the time, 95%. It was rarely below 67 or above 95. Almost all the time, 95% of the time, the temperature was between 67 and 95. 67 and 95. And then for almost all is 99.7, what was the range? Now that's really almost all, 99.7, that goes all the way to this 102 and 60. Yeah, so literally for almost all the time, the temperature was between 60 and 102. It's rarely below 60 or above 102. This must have been in the hot months of June or July or August in New York City. 99.7, if it's never going below 60, it must have been summer months. 99.7% of the days between what? 60 and 102. 60 and 102. And then question B, if the temperature on a day was 84, would this be considered unusual? Huh, is 84 an unusual temperature? Let's go up and look here. 84, where's 84? Well, 81's the average. 84 would be about right here, wouldn't it? Is that unusual? No, not at all. That's really close to average. You would say, wow, it was 84 today. Well, no, that's 81's the average. That's really normal, isn't it? Now, okay, what would not be normal? Well, standard, if you're outside of this blue region, then that's more strange, more extreme, not normal. Because normally you would expect the temperature to be between 74 and 88 because that's where 68% of the days are. They're between 74 and 88. That's the normal range of temperatures. 74 to 88. That's the normal range of temperatures. Anything outside of that is considered, not normal. So yeah, 84 is totally normal. Would that be considered unusual? No. 84 would not be considered unusual because it falls within one standard deviation. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Remember, the standard deviation up here is the jump from line to line. So if this is the middle, then one jump to the right and one jump to the left. That's all the normal. So things are considered normal that are within one standard deviation of the middle. One jump to the right or one jump to all the temperatures between 74 and 88 would be considered normal because that's normally 68% of the time where you would find the temperature. And then down here in this last one, if the temperature was 64, would this be considered unusual? 64, where's 64? Well, it's about right here. And so, yeah, that's more, yes, that's unusual because that's pretty low. 64 is pretty low. Here's one jump left of the middle. That's more than two whole jumps left of the middle. So that's pretty unusual. That's a pretty darn low temperature compared to the average and the standard deviation, the jump amount from line to line. That's pretty darn low. That's unusual. So if you're outside of the blue region, you're unusual. If you're outside of one jump left and one jump right, this is the normal. One jump left and one jump right, one standard deviation left, one standard deviation right. That's the normal area. Anything outside of that is considered not normal. So yeah, 64 is definitely an unusually low temperature. So we'd say yes. Is that unusual? Yes, 64 would be considered unusual because it's more than two standards. It is. It was more than two jumps below the middle. So we'd say yes, that's unusual. So that's the meaning of standard deviation. It's what's normal. If you're within one standard deviation jump to the right or left to the middle, if you're beyond that, you're unusual. There we go.